Taylor Swift's friendship is over. And it is pretty crazy to me that this is the straw that broke the camel's back. According to new reports, Taylor Swift is withdrawing from Blake Lively amid the latter's legal battle with her It Ends With Us castmate Justin Baldoni. The pop diva feels Lively used her as an intimidation tactic in a lawsuit.
Taylor's like, I'm out. It's like, you know what I mean?
What are your thoughts on that, actually? Do you think that really happened? Like, that Taylor is really putting some distance there?
I definitely do, yeah.
You do?
I absolutely do. Going off, like, Taylor's songs in the past and Bad Blood and all that kind of stuff, like,
Taylor Swift is allegedly taking a step back from her friendship with Blake Lively because of this whole Baldoni-Lively drama. That is according to the Daily Mail. The Daily Mail is saying that Taylor's taking a step back from her friendship with Blake after feeling like she was used as an intimidation tactic by the actress in a lawsuit she never wanted to be.
Guys, Blake Lively is reportedly spiraling because her longtime bestie Taylor Swift has allegedly cut ties, and Blake can hardly believe it. Blake and Ryan Reynolds have been acting like the whole entertainment industry was firmly on their side and that their money, fame, and influence could help them escape this mess. But now, more celebrities seem to be seeing through the chaos and speaking out against them. Rumors claim Taylor never agreed to Blake using her name to pressure or intimidate anyone, and apparently she's reached her limit with being pulled into Blake's alleged bullying tactics. On top of that, there are whispers that several other stars have had difficult experiences working with Blake and Ryan. Taylor is just one of many A-listers who reportedly see Blake as entitled, difficult, and self-centered. So now people are asking, is Hollywood finally turning its back on Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds? And what does all of this have to do with their legal battle involving Justin Baldoni? Blake and Ryan are probably feeling the pressure right now because it seems they're realizing not everyone wants to be dragged into their drama or used in what critics call manipulative games. The pair have been facing serious backlash lately over how they've handled this entire case, and word is many celebrities in their social circle are stepping away because they don't want their names attached when things get even uglier. Imagine losing a best friend of over 10 years because of a lawsuit you allegedly started after being upset that you couldn't force a movie director out of his own project. That's the rumor floating around. And when it comes to Taylor Swift, insiders say she's not simply taking space from Blake for now. According to the gossip, she's making a permanent break and fully cutting her off for good, which only adds more fuel to this already explosive Hollywood drama.
Reported that Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds were still going to the Super Bowl with Taylor Swift despite all of the legal drama. Daily Mail just reported Blake is not attending the Super Bowl with Taylor. Blake has not left the house since this started practically. Taylor wants nothing to do with this trial and court case. That is according to a Daily Mail source. It's interesting because last year when Blake joined Taylor at the Super Bowl, the Chiefs did.
For context, Blake and Taylor have been close friends since 2015. They started spending time together not long after first meeting, and over the years they constantly shared photos from each other's events and showed up for major milestones. Taylor has also always seemed very close with Blake's children, which makes sense for such a long-time friendship. Back in 2017, Taylor even used Blake's daughter James's voice at the start of her song Gorgeous. Then in 2020, Taylor mentioned Blake's 3 daughters, James, Inez, and Betty, in her song Betty. Over the years, Blake and Taylor also teamed up on several creative projects and business moves. Blake directed Taylor's I Bet You Think About Me music video, which later earned a nomination for Music Video of the Year at the 56th Annual CMA Awards in 2022. Last year, when Deadpool and Wolverine premiered in theaters, Taylor publicly revealed in an Instagram post that she was the godmother to Blake and Ryan's kids while promoting the film. In that post, Taylor called Ryan one of her best friends and joked, shouting out Wade Wilson, also known as her godkid's sperm donor. Ryan later confirmed it in an interview with Deadline, saying that Taylor really is the godparent to his daughters and calling her gesture incredibly sweet. He even said her support could practically impact the box office. Their friendship had stayed strong for nearly 10 years, which is rare in Hollywood, where many relationships are often seen as strategic. That's what made their bond feel genuine. But now, everything appears to have shifted after Taylor got pulled into Blake Lively's legal drama with Justin Baldoni.
no longer communicating with Blake Lively, and I think she's being a bad friend. An inside source with Taylor Swift's team, aka Leslie Sloan or someone, is very specifically and purposely spreading the word to the Daily Mail and everyone else that Taylor is no longer communicating with Blake Lively, and in fact, she doesn't know if her friendship can bounce back, and she's reevaluating all of her friendships. Blake invited her to SNL 50, and she even said no to that. But honestly, Kim Kardashian was there. Why would she do that? Here's why I think she's being a bad friend. She's Blake Lively's godmother to her children. She has known Blake Lively for 10 plus years. She knows who this girl is. She was part of, and it ends with us, every step of the way, from the music choices to probably Blake texting her back and forth, to even giving the go-ahead for casting Isabella, which, by the way, Justin did confirm was true. And if her best friend is saying that she was SA'd, she should be supporting her, period. Her friend believes it's true. She should be supporting her and believing her. And you know what? At the very least, not be planting these stories. Now, I don't think Blake Lively has said anything that she didn't think that Taylor would be okay with, especially with her involvement in the film. Her involvement has been weaved throughout the film. I don't think Blake would ever risk her friendship. I'm sure she thought that Taylor was on board, and she probably was. And then this exploded, and Taylor was like, wait a minute, I don't want this bad press. We're not going to be talking now. So anyway, whether you believe Blake or not.
So y'all already know the basics of what supposedly happened. Justin cast Blake as the lead actress in his movie It Ends With Us. But according to the rumors, Blake quickly started trying to take over his role by rewriting parts of the script, pushing her way into the casting decisions for other actors, and attempting to change everything from the soundtrack to the wardrobe. And whenever things didn't go her way, she allegedly reminded Justin that she had powerful names in her corner, like her husband Ryan Reynolds and her best friend Taylor Swift. Somehow, those tactics seemed to work because Justin and his team were reportedly pushed aside during the press run and even at the movie's premiere, while Blake and Ryan ended up taking center stage. So, what exactly was Taylor Swift's part in all this? Well, buckle up because this is where it gets interesting. Blake allegedly treated her movie role like a full group project, bringing both Taylor and Ryan into the creative process so they could make changes to the script, while Justin Baldoni was expected to just go along with it. It apparently started with the casting of young Lily Bloom. Blake and Taylor were said to have strongly pushed for Isabella Ferrer to land the role. At the time, it was important for them to find someone who looked almost identical to Blake while still being able to perform the character convincingly. Isabella herself reportedly didn't even know any of this at first. It was only later that she found out Taylor had played a part in influencing her casting as young Lily Bloom. While that may sound exciting, some believe Blake and Taylor wanted to personally choose the actress so they could have someone who wouldn't push back against their ideas.
Beloved and as recognizable as Blake, the only way it can really work is if you have somebody that resembles her. So we did a TikTok search. We looked through thousands of women and tapes, and we had lookalikes submit who had never acted before. And then I found Isabella. Our wonderful casting director sent me her tape, and I watched it, and I remember asking, did she put that mole there in that place? And if you look at her at the right angle, it's a spitting image. More than just the resemblance, she is a phenomenal actress. And this was her first film.
She told me Taylor Swift helped her get the role, signed off on her audition.
I was casting, and I had actually brought in and showed her casting tape to Blake and Taylor, and they were both like, yes, her. And that's a true.
At one point, Blake allegedly even warned that Taylor might pull back permission for using her song My Tears Ricochet in the movie.
Friendship is over. And it is pretty crazy to me that this is the straw that broke the camel's back. According to new reports, Taylor Swift is withdrawing from Blake Lively amid the latter's legal battle with her It Ends With Us castmate Justin Baldoni. The pop diva feels Lively used her as an intimidation tactic in a lawsuit despite her unwillingness to be embroiled in it. This honestly makes me feel that the two were just a PR friendship, because I don't know what type of friends would withdraw from a friendship when the going gets tough for one individual. As you guys may know, Lively compared herself to a Game of Thrones character Khaleesi in a series of text messages in which she appeared to threaten Baldoni, referring to her husband and Swift as her dragons. That apparently was the last straw for Taylor Swift because she felt that she was being talked about as a possession, that she was some kind of a pet. And yeah, it's not cool, that's for sure. But honestly, if I was in a fight with somebody or in a disagreement, I would probably refer to my girlfriends in the same way. My girlfriends are my protectors. Blake Lively felt that Taylor Swift was her protector.
In her updated complaint against Justin, Blake revealed that she had witnesses, meaning other actors from It Ends With Us, who she claimed could back up her version of events, specifically Jenny Slate and Isabella Ferrer. Allegedly, Jenny Slate had filed an HR complaint against Justin and his business partner Jamie Heath after an uncomfortable encounter with them. But here's the thing, the issue Jenny reportedly had doesn't actually connect to the allegations Blake made against Justin. To be clear, Blake accused Justin of workplace misconduct, making inappropriate comments, and orchestrating a media smear campaign against her. But Jenny's complaint was allegedly about a rental pad she had spent $155,000 on. Reports say she told Jamie Heath she didn't like the place, but since she had already put so much money into it, she felt stuck. Jamie then supposedly told her not to stress because Wayfarer would reimburse her. The problem, according to the rumor, was that she didn't like the tone he used when saying it. But people are asking what that has to do with Blake's claims in her lawsuit. As for Isabella Ferrer, many think Blake expected her to simply follow along without questioning anything. Blake claimed Isabella also had a bad experience on set because of Justin, but that narrative quickly got challenged when it was revealed Isabella had sent Justin a very positive message after filming Wrapped. In the text, Isabella thanked him for creating a safe and supportive work environment. She said she was grateful, excited, and called him a wonderful director to work with. She even added that her first film experience was life-changing and that Justin made her feel comfortable enough to fully step into the role. Isabella described him as smart, sincere, and welcoming, saying the experience would stay with her forever. Now, some people could argue she was simply trying to protect her future since it was her very first acting role, and she didn't want to cause issues. But if the environment had truly been as bad as Blake suggested, it seems unlikely Isabella would go out of her way to thank him so enthusiastically or specifically highlight how safe and comfortable she felt. Still, critics say Blake didn't seem to care about those details and was willing to pull others into the controversy regardless of whether they wanted to be involved. There were even rumors floating around that Jenny Slate and Isabella Ferrer didn't approve of Blake using their names publicly as part of her claims. And then there's Taylor Swift. Reports suggest Taylor also wasn't happy after learning Blake had allegedly used her name to pressure Justin Baldoni off his own project. In Justin's lawsuit, he claimed Taylor played a part in pressuring him to accept script changes Blake wanted. One major example was the rooftop scene, a fan-favorite moment from the book. Apparently, Blake asked Justin if she could take a shot at rewriting it herself, but Justin was hesitant because it's usually the job of a union screenwriter, not an actor, to rewrite a key scene. Still, against what some say was his better judgment, he agreed to let Blake try. Blake submitted her version, but Justin wasn't fully convinced by it. Even so, he thanked her for her passion and said he would try to work with some of her ideas. That apparently wasn't enough for Blake. Reports claim she felt frustrated that Justin didn't instantly praise her or fully embrace her rewrite. So she allegedly sent him a long text message, making it clear she wanted her version used. In that message, Blake referenced an earlier meeting at her New York penthouse where Justin had been invited over. According to Justin's claims, Ryan Reynolds was there and immediately began praising Blake's script contributions. Then Taylor Swift reportedly walked in and also started complimenting Blake's work. Justin says he understood the unspoken message in that moment, that he was expected to go along with Blake's vision. Blake allegedly continued applying pressure by emphasizing her close relationship with both Ryan and Taylor, making it clear she had powerful people standing behind her. At one point, she even compared herself to Khaleesi, calling Ryan and Taylor her dragons. And that's where people started questioning what it really means when someone keeps making suggestions on another person's project, but those suggestions start sounding less like ideas and more like demands. It's one thing to say thanks but no thanks, but it's another to remind someone that you've got powerful friends standing behind you like fire-breathing dragons. I'll let you decide what that really means. Looking back now, fans have started noticing that Taylor seemed to be distancing herself from It Ends With Us from the very beginning. Think about it. Taylor has supported almost every project Blake and Ryan have been involved in over the last few years. She had plenty of praise for Deadpool and even Blink Twice, but when it came to It Ends With Us, there was complete silence. That alone made fans think there may have already been tension brewing behind the scenes, and that Taylor wanted no part of it. But according to insiders, it goes even deeper. Reports say Taylor is now ready to step back from her friendship with Blake after feeling like her name was used as a tool for intimidation during Blake's lawsuit. One insider claimed that Blake referring to Taylor as one of her dragons was the final straw. According to that source, Taylor is creating distance because she doesn't want to be more involved in this situation than she already is, which was far beyond what she ever expected. The same insider said Taylor's friends also believed Blake's text to Justin, where she compared herself to Khaleesi and called Ryan and Taylor her dragons, was unnecessary and inappropriate because it made Taylor feel like she was being used as leverage. They also felt it framed her more like a possession or weapon than a friend. Another insider added that Taylor should never have been dragged into this in the first place. According to them, she was only visiting Blake and Ryan casually and didn't know the meeting would involve Justin or script discussions. A separate source also shared that Taylor is worried about how all of this could affect her own public image. They said Taylor has quietly and politely stepped away because she's careful about her reputation and hates being tied to this controversy at all. Imagine your closest friend suddenly keeping their distance like you're carrying some kind of bad luck, all because they don't want to get caught up in your drama. A lot of people believe if Taylor truly thought Blake was going through something serious, she wouldn't be working this hard to separate herself. And the fact that Taylor still hasn't publicly supported Blake has only fueled speculation that there's much more happening behind the scenes than anyone knows. In Toro 6. And it's not just Taylor feeling this way. Rumors say many Hollywood elites are side-eyeing Blake and Ryan, especially after Ryan's awkward joke during the SNL 50th anniversary special.
Time to put this song in the movie. It was actually Sony that put it in the trailer, and we worked really closely on the trailer and went back and forth, and we were so proud of the trailer before we released it, and we hoped people liked it, and it was a big success, which was great.
People loved it. By people, I mean me. It was so perfectly played in the movie, too.
Yeah, but when the trailer came out, we were like, oh, no, we have to put it in the movie. But this was actually, it's quite a small budget movie.
Oh, you added the song after the trailer.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big, beautiful summer movie, but it's actually like a pretty intimate movie. So we never thought, like, our eyeballs were not that big to think that we could, put one of her songs in the movie. And it had to be. And there was a moment in the movie that just, it was missing this like emotional gravitas, and like as soon as we put that song in, it was just like, I was like, that's the spot, because it's the moment in her life where something happens, and that thing that happens, whatever decision she makes, is going to change the course of her life. So while she's thinking about that, you needed something that was just had so much weight and so much gravity and so much significance, that songs, I mean, nothing would have done it like.
Having all of Hollywood and their so-called powerful friends seemingly turn against them in the middle of this legal drama is definitely a twist Blake and Ryan probably never expected. But apparently, they might be the only ones surprised by how things are unfolding. One person commented that people like this don't really have genuine friendships and don't truly know how to be good friends themselves. They said you are the company you keep, and shallow people usually build shallow relationships. Another person pointed out that Taylor shouldn't be getting hate for simply setting boundaries with friends. They said if they had friends constantly dragging them into drama and chaos, they'd walk away too. They also made it clear they weren't defending Taylor because they didn't know enough about her personal background. But now we want to hear from you. Do you think Blake deserves to lose Taylor's friendship for pulling her into this mess? Or do you think Taylor is betraying Blake by not standing beside her? Drop your thoughts below and check out the next video.